Have you ever wondered how a medical aid helps you to save on tax? Or perhaps you're paying quite a significant amount of money to SARS right now, and you're looking for opportunities in which you could cut that down and maybe get a higher rebate. Well, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 powerful secrets that you can implement right now in order to get the most tax benefits from a medical aid. Now, I'm Devanaka, and I specialize in helping government employees and individuals about to retire live the best life possible with the money they have. But in this video, I'm helping you on choosing the most comprehensive medical aid, at the same time, something that's affordable. Now, when it comes to tax, as a disclaimer, I want you to make sure that you are working with the latest tax guide whenever you're doing it, right? Especially when you're watching the video. And I'm using the 2022 tax guide because that was when I shot this video. So working through the guide, I want you to get to this particular section. You'll see as I scroll further down, there's a section that is specific on medical aid. It's falling under the section of deductions. And you'll see it here, it says medical and disability expenses. So the first secret that I want to share with you is when it comes to medical aid, government has a standard amount that they're allowing you to claim, right? And they refer to this tax rebate, they refer to it as a medical scheme fees tax credit. A bit of a mouthful there, but that's basically the rebate. Now, here's a secret I want to share with you. It is a rand amount, right? So you can see for this particular tax year is 347 rand. So it does not matter what you contribute towards your medical aid, right? In this particular leg of the formula, they are looking more in terms of just do you have a medical aid itself? And as long as you have it, they're giving you 347 rand back. Now, notice it says here for the first 2 persons, right? Which means, and I'll illustrate this better just now. If it's you and your spouse, it's 2 adults, the first 2 people, they're able to give you 347 rand off, right? Let's say you're a family of 4. So now you've got yourself, your spouse, and 2 kids. Now the remaining, see, each additional dependent gets 234 rand. So what does that look like? Let's illustrate this for you on the iPad. So remember, what we're talking about is just on a tax rebate. And what the tax rebate does is it's allowing you to pull your taxes down. I'm going to do an example with you using some figures so that you understand this. And again, it doesn't matter the amount that you're contributing towards your medical aid, right? What they are saying is when you have the first person, right? So I'm going to say, let's actually call this you. So this is you. SARS is saying that in this particular tax year that I'm working with, they are saying is 347 rand, right? So they're saying they're going to allow you to have 347 rand. Now let's assume, again, you've got a spouse. So I'm going to put in spouse here. It means your spouse is able to claim a same. Now remember, it doesn't have to be a spouse, right? Because SARS wasn't specific with how they had structured this. They just said the second person. So I'm using an example to say spouse, and that's 347. Then I'm assuming that you've got kids, right? So let's say you've got, I'll call it kid 1. Now, what did SARS say when it came to this one? They said it's 234 rand, right? Remember, you're going to check the latest tax guide when you're working with this, right? 234 rand. If you have a second child, so I'll say kid 2. And remember, this could also be your parent or someone else that is part of the same medical aid as you, 234 rand. So what this means is for this particular leg of the formula, right, that SARS is using to calculate your tax, they're just adding this up and it's easy, okay? I'm going to do the calculations for you. There's no calculations that you've got to work on your own. I just want you to understand the framework, and I want to get you to the other 2 secrets. In fact, the third one's going to blow your mind away when you get to it, right? So I'll pull up a calculator so we can work through this together. We're basically saying it's 347 rand plus another 347 rand plus another 234 rand plus another 234 rand, which means in total you can claim 1,161 rand. Right? So how does this thing work? Let's go back onto the iPad. I'll illustrate this point for you, right? Remember, SARS is looking at the total amount of income that you are earning, and that income could come from your salary. It could come from interest that you're earning in a bank. It could come from investments, a second job. So whatever your total income is, so I'm going to be putting the income in here. So let's say your income, right? And in my example, I'm going to assume your income is 100,000, right? Now we calculated this figure already. It's 1,162 Rand. So let's put that figure in here. This total here is 1,162 Rand. So normally when you are getting extra income, it's all adding, right? So if you are earning income from the bank, if you are earning a salary, it's all being added up into this total income here, and they tax you according to that, right? So that's pulling you up the scale. It's making you to pay more tax. But when you have a deduction like what's taking place here, that's pulling you down the scale, right? So what would take place in this case, because you've got this medical aid here and they've got the tax rebate, right? They would minus the 1,162 Rand. So the idea here is the medical aid now is creating a deduction. It's reducing your taxable income. So when it's reducing your taxable income, it's pulling you down the scale, right? I'm going to quickly go on to where you want to have a look at this. Again, no calculations for you, right? I just want you to understand how SARS sees this. And once you understand that, you can apply this technique wherever you work with, right? So if you look here, I'm looking at the income tax rates. And you see the more income you earn, the higher the tax, right? So you'll see the taxable income on the left here. I notice the rate of tax, it starts off at 18%, then it goes to 26, then 31, then 36. So what makes our salary go up, what makes your income go high is your salary, it's interest that you're earning at the bank, income that you're receiving from certain investments, rental income, all those things are adding extra layers, right? That's what's pushing you up the tax bracket. For you to get a rebate, you want to look for ways in which you can still earn the same income, but things that you can claim, right? And that's why I showed you the section on deduction, and medical aid is one of it. So the medical aid is going to actually help reduce it. Now, you want to get to a point where you can obviously drop down a tax bracket if it's possible, but that's what I'm going to share with you in the next secret. So what I've shared with you now, secret number one is just by you contributing towards a medical aid, you're going to be getting a refund, or you're going to be getting a deduction, right? You're going to be getting some credit, which you can use when you're submitting your taxes, and that's going to help to reduce your taxable income, which is a great positive because that helps you to ensure that you're paying less tax. So just by having a medical aid. Another secret you know now, the more people you have on the medical aid, the more you're allowed to claim, right? Just you want to be mindful. There's a separate video which I've recorded to give you guidance on whether you actually want to add in your parent onto this, or whether you want to add the type of dependence that you want to add in, right, on the medical aid. So just know you want to understand the framework for now. Let's get into the second secret. Second secret is if you are a pensioner or if you're someone that's 65 or older, right? Now we'll go back onto the tax table so that you can understand what's happening here. And it's again just referring to the section where it comes to medical aid, right? So you'll notice that there's two parts to this, right? This first part of the formula applies to individuals who are below 65. But notice there's a second leg of the formula. See, in the case of an individual who is 65 years and older. So if you're 65 years and older, there's more tax credits that are available for you, right? Now, naturally, when you're doing your tax return and working with their accountant, you can go through this. But if you are 65 years or older, SARS is basically saying they're going to allow you to claim more in tax, right? So you're able to get more of a refund back, which is a great positive. You want to be mindful of this because you want to plan your income around this, right? Because then it means you can take a higher income, but you're paying the same amount of tax, right? Because you're getting more back as a rebate. So you make sure that you plan this one carefully. Now, here it is, the whopping third secret that I've been raving about, right? So the secret is understanding the difference between paying in cash versus a higher medical aid, right? Now, let me illustrate. Let's just assume that you are paying for a medical aid right now, and this is your current medical aid. And assume that the contribution for your medical aid is, let's say, 3,000 Rand, right? So that's what you're paying every month. But you know that you're going for some type of medical treatment in the next year, right? You know you're getting through medical, or maybe in the last year, you've had some type of treatment, and it came to quite a significant amount, right? So now you want to plan for, you're wondering whether you want to increase your medical aid, right? So here's what I want you to analyze very carefully. Now pay close attention because this is a bit intricate, but I want you to get this because it's a beautiful tax secret which you can use to your benefit. So now I'm saying, assuming that your future medical bills, and this could be things that you're paying in cash, right? Let's just say that you're paying an extra, for the year, we'll say 20,000, right? So you're paying an extra, I'll actually say 24,000. So it's almost like 2,000 a month. So you know for the next 12 months, you're paying 24,000. Now, there's a tendency to go one of two routes, right? You might want to lean towards saying, hey, you know what? Let's go up the medical aid, right? Let's go increase the medical aid. What's the next option that can cover you more comprehensively? Because you know that this is now costing you 24,000 per year, you then want to look at, okay, what's the next option up? Now, the trick with medical aids is there's a whole string of other benefits that come, right? So you're just trying to find a way in which you can finance the 24,000. But it's not that you can just finance the 24,000 because you're always going to add in extra layers of benefits. So what you might find, and this is an exercise I want you to test, right? You might find the medical aid saying, okay, for an extra 3,000 Rand a month, you can move to this option. It's even more comprehensive. And guess what? We're going to cover all this in full for you, right? So you don't have to be concerned about the 24,000. I want you to analyze this very carefully because when you take the 3,000 Rand and you multiply that figure over a 12-month period, that works out to 36,000. So notice what I'm showing you. In order for you to create the saving, right? In order for you to save 24,000, you have to pay in 3,000 Rand a month in my example, right? And 3,000 Rand a month means for the year you're paying in 36,000. That's quite a significant amount of money extra. Whereas if you had paid for this in cash, you could just pay 24,000. You see? And that still creates a saving for you. So I want you to compare this very, very carefully. Don't just instantly up onto a higher medical aid simply because it's going to be able to cover you more comprehensively. Have a look at how much that premium is. How much is that saving you for the year, right? Or how much you have to pay extra for the year. Compare it to how much you need for the year to see what's the saving. Now, what's the tax secret? It's this. What I shared with you earlier, which was secret number one, I said to you that it's fixed, right? So the amount of tax rebate that government is giving you, it doesn't matter what the premium you're paying for your medical aid, that leg of the formula is fixed. So when I showed you 347, and depending again on the tax guide you're using, it's a fixed formula, right? You can't adjust it. It doesn't matter. You could pay 1,000 Rand for your medical aid, you're getting 347. You could pay 10,000 for your medical aid, you're still getting 347. So why I'm sharing this with you is, even if you contribute more, if you go to a higher option, you can't claim that back. But if you had to pay for this in cash, so let's say you had this medical aid and you paid for this in cash, right? So now what takes place, this is now a cash payment. Cash medical expenses can be claimed. So there's a leg to the formula that SARS is saying, look, yes, I'm giving you the credit for your medical aid, but if you had paid for other medication, other types of treatment that your medical aid didn't pay, you paid cash from your pocket, then in that case, yes, I'm now going to start, I'll look at it. This is what SARS is saying. They're going to look at it, and that could help you to create more tax rebate, right? If they give you some type of tax credit. Now, notice why I'm sharing this as a key secret is, if you're going this route where you're upping your medical aid, there's nothing that you're paying in cash because the medical aid is paying for it in full, right? Which means you're not going to be able to get that leg of the formula as a benefit. You can't get that back. But if you're staying on an option, you did your homework that I've shared in this video, and you're comparing the two and you're paying cash, now you've got something to claim, right? That doesn't mean that you've got to pay cash. As I shared with the earlier video of this medical aid secrets, you could take this and you could tell the medical aid, hey, I want to save this money in the medical aid, right? So they keep a separate savings for you. So it's almost like this. You have one pool that's here. This is your medical aid, right? And you're telling them, hey, I also want to pay an extra amount every month towards a savings. And it's part and parcel of your medical aid, right? So then that conditions you towards paying for it. But notice now, this pool is covering you for the hospital. This savings pool is covering you for things in or out of the hospital that the medical aid is not covering, right? So you can finance this in multiple different ways. But the secret here is you want to analyze this carefully. Before choosing your medical aid, you want to go and have a look at how much extra is the benefit going to cost you? Is it really worthwhile, right? And remember, medical aid can be changed on a yearly basis. So when you're working with this, just analyze over a 12-month period to see what's needed. So there you have it. You've got 3 secrets to use a medical aid to help drop your taxes down. Share with me in the comments below which one of these secrets is most beneficial to you. What are you using? How is it helping? So type in the comments below so that I'm able to understand. Remember to subscribe to the video. So I'm going to give you more secrets as I go along to help you grow your wealth and save you money. Again, I'm Devanaka, and I will catch you in the next video.